Let's get with it. You ready? I bet you didn't know that hunting unicorns is legal in Michigan. That's for you, Brick. Number 2. Bet you didn't know, although I bet you thought you knew, how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. Because I thought I knew. But according to engineering students from the Scientific Endeavor at Purdue University, who used a licking machine instead of volunteers time, it takes 364 licks. That's a lot of licks, but I bet you didn't know it. And I bet you didn't know number 3. In ancient times, spider webs were used as bandages. Ancient Greek and Roman doctors used spider webs to make bandages for their patients. Spider webs contain a natural antiseptic and antifungal properties, which help to keep the wound clean and to stop any infection. The webs have vitamin K, and that promotes clotting. So webs are a good thing. So next time you're out of Band-Aids, maybe you can find a dark, dusty corner to get some webs. Website. I don't know. Yeah, webication. You need web aid instead of Band-Aid. Alright, so number 4, I bet you didn't know this. The cat's tail contains nearly 10% of all the bones in its body. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Number 5, I bet you didn't know that in the average course of a lifetime, when you're sleeping, you will eat 70 insects. Oh, this is gross. And 10 spiders. And I didn't know that, and I really wish I didn't know that now. 70 insects and 10 spiders in your lifetime of sleeping. Because you sleep with your mouth open. I can imagine them probably being in your ear, but I thought that was cool. Number 6, I bet you didn't know. Only a quarter of the Sahara Desert is actually sandy. It is covered in mountains, oases, and the majority is covered in gravel. And that's weird for the Sahara, gravel. But I bet you didn't know it. Number 7, I bet you didn't know. Honey does not ever go bad. That I didn't know. So you can eat that many-year-old honey in a jar if you want to. Number 8, I bet you didn't know that the average adult spends more time on the toilet than they do exercising. Did you know that? I probably can see that. In 2007, British non-profit UK adults did a study and found they spend an average of 3 hours and 9 minutes on the toilet each week, and 1 hour and 30 minutes exercising during that same time. That's not good, is it? Because all that eating, you have to go to the potty. I didn't know that. Number 9, bet you didn't know that a Jiffy, did you know that is it's actually a unit of time. A Jiffy. Be there in a Jiffy. It's about 1/1,000,000th of a second of time, and very short. During the 18th or 19th century, Gilbert Newton Lewis, a scientist, stated that a Jiffy is the amount of time it takes light to travel 1 centimeter. I never was good at that science stuff, but that's pretty short. But I bet you didn't know. Number 10, I bet you didn't know. The average American spends two and a half days a year looking for lost items. Now this is me. I'm the queen of all lost objects. In April 2017, because I'm always losing stuff, Pixie Wireless Tracker passed out the largest independent lost and found survey. The most commonly misplaced items, according to the survey, were remotes, always losing, the phones, usually I'm on it when I lose it, and keys and glasses on my head. Keys, yes, I've lost this in the chair. So I bet you didn't know. I bet you knew it, but you didn't know. Right. Well, number 10, I mean 11. I bet you didn't know the inventor of the Pringles can happens to be also buried in a Pringles can. In 1966, Frederick Baer invented the idea for Pringles. And now he rests in Pringles all the time. I love Pringles. I eat a can a day. Do you? Well, number 12, I bet you didn't know. If you need to pass kidney stones, I'll tell you the best place to go. You need to ride the roller coaster, and that'll help you pass them. Research teams from Michigan State University looked into the statements of multiple people claiming that they had passed kidney stones after riding Walt Disney's world's biggest Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. There is a 64% successful pass rate. I don't have that, thank goodness, but that's an idea. Go to Disney. That's the way to get there. So, number 13, I bet you didn't know. Standing around burns calories. Did you know that? I do a lot of that. The average 150-pound person, I'm not, burns 114 calories per hour while standing and doing nothing. Well, my husband should be losing, and he is. There's lots of it. Just kidding, honey. 14, I bet you didn't know that the Happy Birthday song was not for public use. Prior to 2016, the song was copyrighted and you had to pay a license to use it. That would be a lot of payment, really, if we all had to do that. No more singing Happy Birthday without paying. Number 15, last one. Bet you didn't know this, that Queen Elizabeth II is a trained mechanic. During World War II, Princess Elizabeth was 18 and a member of the Women's Auxiliary Territorial Service, making her the only woman in the British royal family to have served in the armed forces and the only living head of state to serve in the Second World War. She was called Second Subaltern. I can't even say it. I don't think that's right. I had to write this one. Subaltern. Okay. Elizabeth Windsor trained as a mechanic and military truck driver. She is also the only person in Britain who doesn't need a driver's license